All right, so this one is going to be about virality, uh, the state of being viral. Let's call it, um, because we all want to go viral, right? Going viral is good, which is weird to say because like virality used to be a term exclusively for bad stuff happening to us that's negative. You catch a virus on your computer, or perhaps yourself. You catch it within yourself, and you're sick for a while, or your computer is sick for a while. Reality, for as long as we've known it, has been a bad thing. Only in recent history has it been a good thing, something that we're chasing, something that we want to be. Like we want to be a virus. And like, I guess the precursor to that would be people who would make viruses, right? People who would, um, I'm talking about computers, right? I'm not, I'm not trying to get kicked off of YouTube by saying that some viruses have been engineered um, behind the scenes, like stuff we catch or anything. I'm not going down that road. I'm just going to keep it to computers. And I'll neither confirm nor deny that some stuff has been engineered with gain of function in this world. Anyway, back to the topic at hand, virality. So, yeah, the precursor to what we have now is social media and going viral and trying to go viral, trying to spread. The precursor was people who would make viruses because your computer can't catch a virus without somebody making a virus. I'm sure that's not 100% true. I'm sure there's some bugs that can be caught, and that was the inspiration for people creating viruses. I don't know. I'm not a fucking computer nerd. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm just guessing. I'm speculating. But yeah, so the precursor is people would engineer viruses on their computer, and they would infect other people's computers for nefarious purposes, sometimes to obtain money from them or gain access to their computer, blackmail them, whatever it may be. Interesting how virality nowadays, the positive so-called version of virality, is also to part people with their hard-earned cash to a certain extent. You get massively popular. Let's say you're some sort of streamer or something, and people are forking over their cash to, these people that make millions of dollars streaming, right? Anyway, so it seems like part of the function of a virus has become, it's this confidence game, right? So like computer viruses, it was kind of a brute force, kind of like um, antagonistic, very, very literally antagonistic thing. Whereas it's evolved now to the modern version of reality, which is making you want to set part with your money. Does that make any sense? So like it's become a confidence game, right? So it's like when you're conned by somebody, you think you're helping them and you feel good about giving them your money. So you're saving their farm, or you're saving their grandpa, or whatever it may be. That's how they get you to part with your money. One second, the light went off here, so I just want to put the light back on. That's better light. Okay. So basically, I find that interesting, right? So it's evolved. Okay, so the virality that we face today is things that catch on, um, and the way that I would describe something catching on, it's different than when something's popular for popular's sake, just because it's like popular or whatever. Um, the ways that virality differ, I would say, is that is sort of pre-conformity. You're conforming before you're even forced to seriously think about conforming. So you're not being sat down with a contract and being like, sell out. You're not some rock band getting some offer to sell out. You're conforming prior to that ever occurring. So some streamer is conditioning what they do. I'm not trying to rag on streamers. Like I don't really care. I'm just using that because it's an easy shorthand. But whatever it is, like somebody wants to get popular on a viral sense way, whatever. So you are conforming prior to necessarily being forced to or asked to conform. So you're not ever being yourself popularly prior to that happening. You have morphed yourself in certain ways because you feel that that's what is rewarded. So much as a virus evolves and changes in order to be able to infect people once people become, let's say, immune to earlier versions of the virus, a flu or something. The flu changes every year. It evolves. You got the flu last year, so you're not going to get that same flu this year. You're going to get some new version of the flu, right? So that's kind of the conformity that we're talking about here. It's this ever-evolving thing. It's not this fixed thing. What's cool now or what's hip now isn't what was cool and hip even a year ago or 10 years ago, obviously, et cetera. These things change and evolve over time. So the conformity changes, and that's what we would call the nature of the virus, per se. So all this to say, when you are chasing virality, you are behaving like a virus. Never heard anybody say that. I don't know why. It just occurred to me today. Maybe I did hear it somewhere years ago. I don't know, but I don't think people talk about this. Anyway, so what are the negatives of this? The negatives can, of course, be that people that are looking for entertainment, let's say, people that want to be entertained, they want somebody to like, they want somebody that they like watching or whatever. They then are immediately drawn to what really they don't need to be drawn to. That's what I've noticed with virality. So virality, one of the ways that something can go viral is by directly copying something else, like literally plagiarizing a tweet. So the original tweet gets like 50,000 likes, and then the plagiarized tweet gets like 250,000 or more, or million or whatever. And then you look in the comments and you'll notice somebody being like, hey, this is literally the exact same tweet you just copied. That's a way in which the virus is trying to replicate itself. So the way in which a person is behaving like a virus and trying to replicate itself. So it can be as literal as like, you're just like faking it. You're completely, you're bullshit. You're not even a real person. But you can also do that with your personality. So if a way of talking to the camera becomes the accepted, cool way of talking to the camera, then people are talking to the camera that way right off the bat. And those who best replicate that, those who are best able at imitating that, are going to be rewarded in that marketplace. So we're only talking about conformity. That's why virality is different than straight up popularity. So, you look at periods of music, like on my TV right now, which is basically what's illuminating me. I have Music Choice on, and it's on the R&B Classics channel. I can listen to this channel all day long, and I'll hear all music that's soul and R&B from the 70s, 80s, 60s. But these are all very distinct voices, very distinct bands. Like Otis Redding doesn't sound like Stevie Wonder. Sam and Dave don't sound like Aretha Franklin. Like the list goes on. The genre is the same, sure. But everybody's different. So there's a difference in virality where it's like we're all trying to do the same voice, or we're all trying to do the same thing. And you notice that when pop music sucks, right? You feel like you've heard every single song that's on the radio, even though you haven't actually. I throw on some music and like I can't tell the difference between one artist or the other artist because they're all doing the same um, vowel sounds and the same whatever. Like there just becomes an accepted meter, accepted rhythm, accepted sometimes key, honestly, chord progression, whatever it may be. It just becomes that's the conformity aspect that like you listen and you're like, well, this doesn't feel like what the marketplace of culture is supposed to be. Like we're all supposed to be 100, be able to be 100% ourselves and succeed based on the merit of our art, not on how best we conform to this ever moving idea of popularity. So I do think it's like a trick, right? So when we talk about culture when it's good, culture when it's great, culture like golden ages of whatever, we're really talking about we had a lot of different, very distinct individuals. Um, I don't do this often, but I will compare that to superheroes. And you want each superhero to be different. You don't want it to feel like two superheroes are like the exact same thing, because then it's like, why do they both need to be there? Why are they? Why are we doing this? You want Iron Man to be different than the Hulk, and you want the Hulk to be different than Thor and whoever else. You just want that. Like, why? You can't even understand why it wouldn't be that way. Um, you know, even like Batgirl is different than Batman. Supergirl is different than Superman, Superboy. These are different characters. They're not there for the exact same reason. So that's when there's a golden age. It's everybody can be themselves, right? So like bring it back to me for whatever reason. I'm different than Dan Lotz. I'm different than Joel Haver. Dan is different from me and Joel Haver. Like whatever it is, like you keep going down the list of people in this space. We're all different from one another. But if you like one of our works or like one of our filmographies or whatever, if you like any of our stuff, you might like the other person's stuff too, because there's some thread that's an intangible. It's something that you can't really copy per se. It's a difference that ties us all together. It's an aura. I'm using aura like in the classic sense. I'm not trying to make myself relevant here. But yeah, it's just like it's ethereal. It's just there. Anyway, bring this all back to virality. So virality is the thing that is most rewarded in the marketplace of culture now. So we're not looking for distinct voices. We're not looking for individuality. We're definitely not looking for forward thinkers, because it's impossible to be viral and forward thinking at the same time, because that negates what you're even trying to do. So how has this hijacked all of entertainment? How has this hijacked everything? It's basically become this thing of, instead of trying to find the unknown, not the unpopular, but the unknown. So never been tested, never really been put to the test of like, could this be popular or not? Like, we're not looking for great ideas that might become the next great rock band or the next great filmmaker or whatever. We're looking for what already has viral success, because nobody's going to get fired for saying, hey, why don't we bring this guy with 100,000 followers on board? He's hot right now. You are never going to be fired if that does not prove fruitful, because the instinct and the impulse of what you chose to do makes sense. It makes total fucking sense to say, hey, let's grab the guy with all these followers. Let's not grab the guy with no followers. Let's grab the guy with lots of followers. Because if it doesn't go well with the guy who has no followers, then you might get fired, because people are going to be like, that was a boneheaded move. No, that move is what preserves culture at all. Culture only works if we are grabbing from fucking the dregs of like whatever. Like people in their garages, making garage rock, some demo that ends up somewhere, whatever it is. Somebody hears something, somebody goes out on a limb. Yeah, it might not work out. Yeah, the music industry is a fucked up place. Whatever. You're supposed to find people that do not have followings. That is the job as a gatekeeper. It's not about who's already proven themselves to conform to some other thing in order to game the system and get a whole bunch of followers or whatever. Because that's what it is. It's like, I'm sorry, you cannot. The virality thing is impossible without conformity, and the social media platforms that reward virality are just getting more and more like that. TikTok is about lip syncing to some other fucking person's shit, and your success on TikTok is based on how many people lip sync to you, and it becomes this whole game of like, it's almost even people find success lip syncing to other people's voice more than the original. Like it's crazy. It's weird. Anyway, the point being that it's becoming more and more literally what I'm talking about. It's like if I was having this conversation like early on into YouTube, people might be like, you're being a little pessimistic here. I don't know if I really agree with you, right? But like now with the evolution of social media, it's just conforming more and more to exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody hates when they see a good tweet on Twitter and they realize, oh, that guy just totally lifted that. That's word for word. That's like direct plagiarism, and it's completely rewarded and there's no repercussions for it. Or on Instagram, pictures that are just grabbed and reposted and all sorts of shit. So people are behaving more like viruses, to recap. Content, I always avoid the word. I hate the word, what people consume is becoming more predominantly conformist towards finding a host, infecting, becoming a part of somebody's day-to-day routine. Hey, I'm going to watch these guys. I'm going to follow these guys, whatever. These are my guys that I'm following until I get sick of them, and then I'll find these other guys, like whatever it is. You're trying to find a host. You're not trying to find fans. You're not really trying to find popularity. You're trying to find hosts to infect. Now, why is that accepted? Why is that cool? Why is that forward thinking? Why is that savviness? That's not savviness. That's this isn't real. You're being fake. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm the only one talking about this. I'm sure other people talk about this too. But I for some reason I tend to care about these things more than others. I don't know why. Maybe because I actually make art, and I think of myself as a distinct voice who's doing what I'm doing. I don't know. Maybe I just noticed it more because of that. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you found this helpful or interesting, or if it gave you any other ideas, just like chime in. And yeah, thank you for tolerating my photo booth videos. It's just fun. It's easy for me to. I'm not gonna say it's kind of fun. But mostly it's just easy for me to do it like this. Better than breaking out my camera and like just going through the whole export and convert and this, that, and the other, and doing it on my editor and stuff. Like, it's just easier just doing photo booth and then just lining up the audio with my phone as my microphone. Anyway, yeah, just some thoughts. Thank you. See ya.